Hello, folks. Welcome to my new series of integrating Wise into Unreal. Now, you might be asking, Tim, why are you doing a new series? You have a series you're currently doing. And, well, I got a question from somebody in one of my YouTube comments requesting to more thoroughly explain what it is that I'm doing with my blueprints in relation to how the audio works, of course. As well as like having questions as to why I use Wise when compared to just using the Unreal audio engine. And that second part is actually something I plan on talking about in a future video and in a future talk in a local meetup that I'm going to have, or that I'm going to go to. But as to the first part, something that I've been running into with my current series, putting together the Prisoners Arena, this game right here, is that because I am actively trying to build that game, hello kitty, because I'm trying to actively build that game, I am trying to work on all of the non-audio related functions in between all of the videos, and that's one, that's slowing me down, but two, because I'm building a very particular game, it also limits the scope of what audio-related things that I can actually work with, because I'm building towards a specific goal with that. So, and then on top of that, there's, I am 4.18.3 is what I'm building that game in, and that's kind of a ways behind, and that also means that I'm kind of behind on the version of Wise too. So there's a lot of things that I'm currently missing out on. That I could be talking about. So, welcome to Season 2 of this video series, folks. Before I continue, thank you very, very much to the folks that have been supporting me, buying my album, buying me coffees. Like, you have no idea how excited I get when I see things like that. And just like seeing all of the thank yous. I've been getting so many thank yous and it feels so good. So I'm really happy that this has been helping people. And I look forward to doing even more of this for you folks. So what I'm going to have you do is most of this is going to be fairly candid too. I'm going to be building these things in real time and then just like cutting out all of the moments of me thinking for a really long time, in order to hopefully help you understand how my blueprints are put together in a much better fashion. And hopefully I'll order this in a fashion that makes a lot of sense too. So first thing I'm going to have you do is please install version 4.22.2 of Unreal. And I need to look up the current version of Wise, because, these videos will be out of date as soon as another version comes out. Get out of here. The current version, which is 2019.1.1.6977. So go ahead and get those installed. Make sure to install the SDK when you do that as well. You need that for the plugin. And then go ahead and let's launch Unreal. And we're going to go ahead and build I'm going to build my test level, and if you're planning on building a game at the same time as I'm doing these tutorial videos, then you can go ahead and name this, call it whatever you want, and you can follow along with me as to the best of your ability. I might suggest following me along exactly, though, if you're going to be watching through my whole series and not building something specific. Okay, sorry about that. My screen cut out for a moment. All right. So once you've launched, where was I? I would suggest following along with me, if only because you will be able to learn all of the things that I am teaching about, or even learning about for some cases for me, at the same time. But if you are building your own project, then that's awesome, and please keep going. If you end up having issues with your own project, feel free to ask me a question, and if I can answer the question, I will do my best to do so, or even turn it into a video if I can. If I can't, then I'll try to find resources for you so that you can look it up. All right, so go to New Project, and I'm going to keep doing what it was that I had been doing, which is a first-person project. And I'm using a pre-built thing because then all of the controllers are set up, and I don't have to think about it. Desktop, maximum quality, no starter content. And we're going to name this Test Project. Create. Okay, so once you have this open, oh, hello again, kitty. Let's just make sure that it is working first off. I mean, it's going to, but, you know, might as well play with it, right? Okay, perfect. So for our purposes, we're going to build this test arena, and that means that we're going to need to just go ahead and delete all of this crap. Just delete all of it. We're going to delete these cubes. We're going to delete these walls. Oh, hey, one of those wasn't a wall. Oh, because there's a floor there. There we go. Hey, why is that like that? Oh, you know what? Probably because the lighting needs to be rebuilt. Build lighting only. There we go. So once you've deleted all those walls, rebuild your lighting. Go to build and build lighting only. That'll take a couple minutes, depending on your computer. But you know, then you won't have these ugly gray splotches just sitting on your level. And then we're going to go ahead and delete that because we're not going to need it. Leave the first person spawn, and then this is the light importance volume, and the post-process volume. We'll leave both of those for now because I actually don't know what they do, so I'm just going to leave them alone. And then we're going to take this floor. It's set at a scale of 40, 40, and 1 right now. We want this to be huge because we're going to be putting a lot of different things on here. Eventually we're going to want to build rooms, courses, targets, AI spawners potentially, mountains for other testing purposes. So let's make this 200. Is that going to be big enough? Yeah, I think that'll be big enough, at least for now. We could always make it bigger, I suppose. Let's just look to see how big this is in person. Just see how long it takes to walk over to an edge. Two hours later. There we go. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty big. I think that'll be big enough for most of what we're going to be doing. If need be, we can always make it bigger, or just make another level, I suppose. All right, and that is all set. The next thing, and you know what? Let's just get the next part of what I'm going to have us do set up. And this is going to be for testing This is going to be for testing Wwise once we get that set up. Oop. Let's just throw a cube right here. And collision. Overlap all. There we go. Okay, and we want it set to overlap all so that we can walk on top of it so that we can trigger overlap events as needed. And now that that's set up, we're going to save, which is going to create a level, which is right here under maps. And unlike my personal project, I'm actually going to try and do a better job of laying this out. The other thing we're going to want to do, delete that projectile. We're not going to need it. Oh, right. You know what? Scratch that. Don't delete that yet. We'll delete it once we create our own projectiles. So, now that we've got that done, close that and head on over to Wwise. Go to the Unreal Engine. Let it retrieve all of your projects. And look at that. Test project right there. Integrate Wwise into project. The latest one. Yep. Make sure that everything, as long as you left everything to default files, all of this information should be accurate. Wwise project path. Okay, so now that we've properly installed Wwise with all the things that we're required to have in order to actually have it as an Unreal plugin. There we go. Blah, 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 blah. Integrate. Okay, so with that done, let's go ahead and open up our test project in Wwise. And we're going to go ahead and create a test sound that we can use to make sure that everything is working. Ooh, look at this new dark coloring. This is actually my first time in this version of Wwise. I've been making my game for a while and I haven't needed to install new versions. All right, let's see here. Let's displays the corresponding help documentation. Get that out of there. I don't need your help. All right, so actor mixer. Let's just very quickly create a just a random actor mixer. We're gonna call this tests, and then in here we're gonna put in sound effects and call this test _ beep. And the reason I'm going ahead and creating a whole actor mixer for this is, one, because it's almost like a folder. It's nice for sorting, but we might have some other random test sounds that we're going to put in here. So this will be a good spot to just go ahead and keep all of those consolidated. And then in here, we're going to click on that. We're going to add a source. We're going to add a Wwise sine wave. Put that up. That's perfect. All right. That should be... Yeah, okay. That should be more than enough. So we're going to go ahead and take that. We're going to create a new event, a play event, and we're going to call it test _ overlap, we'll say. And we'll throw the test boop right in there, and it'll just play. And let me just double check. Yeah, it just plays for 1 second. It's not going to loop or anything like that. I actually really like how dark the interface is. So much easier on my eyes. There must have been a skin for it in the older version, but I usually don't look for those things because I'm too busy making the beep boops to worry about, skins and stuff. Skins are for Overwatch. Layout, sound bank, new, and we're just going to call this main _ sound bank. There we go. And then we'll throw in the test overlap in there. Make sure to include Windows and English because, well, for you, you might use something else. I'm just doing Windows because that's what I'm using. And then we're going to go ahead and generate selected. No errors. That's the first important step. I'm going to go ahead and save the project and shrink it. And then we will go ahead and see if this opens. No? Okay, fine. We're going to go ahead and launch. Oh, I guess we didn't need to do that. We could have opened it up from the Wwise launcher, but that's okay. Just means it'll take a little longer. As a note, I almost exclusively open up my Unreal projects using the Wwise launcher just because it's quicker. And since I'm usually looking at Wwise anyways, why not? And of course, you see what I'm talking about. It's taking forever to open. So you know what? Just open this. Launching from the Epic launcher takes forever. I don't understand why. Okay. So now that we have this open, let's go to Edit and Project Settings, I believe. And then we're going to scroll all the way down to Plugin, or Wwise. Oh, I feel like they changed this a little bit. Common settings. Sample rate, okay, that's cool, but not what I'm looking for. Common settings. User settings, there we go. This is what I want. They actually did change this. This used to be just a single button under the plugins list, and basically this would be the only thing that was there. But really all we're looking for is to make sure that this directory is correct, which it should be, but it's an important thing to check because occasionally it decides to not do it right. So now that we know that that is in there correctly, the biggest thing is to look at the Wwise picker. There's our test overlap event. So first things first, we've got blueprints, we've got maps. Let's create a new folder for sounds. I'm going to go in there and create a new folder for tests. Nope. And then go in here and drag that into here. And then just in case, we're also going to need to create a sounds. Go to the Audio Kinetic tab and click on Audio Kinetic Bank, and then call it the same thing that you called your sound bank in Wwise. So in this case, mine is main underscore sound bank. Auto load, yeah. Okay, save. And then go into tests, go to test overlap, and assign main underscore sound bank to that. Okay, so everything should be set up appropriately. Now there is a very decent possibility of something having gone wrong, but that's okay. So we're gonna go here. Let's see, first person blueprints. New folder, tests. And you know what? Let's also make a new folder, player underscore character, so that all of this crap can get put in there. There. All right, go to tests, add blueprint or script. Cube blueprint, we're going to call this overlap underscore test. Create. All right, look at that. We have our cube. Now, first things first is we're going to drag our test overlap object straight into here, leave it called that, and then that's already all plugged in. We don't need any attenuation or stuff, don't need any spatial audio, we just need it to play when we overlap. So, in order to make that work, we're going to scroll all the way down here, and then on component, hey, right, we need to actually add that. Hold on. Box collision. Collider. And just have that up here. There we go. And then on component begin overlap, right here, we can delete all of these other things. We don't need it. On component begin overlap, post event, which is under the audio kinetic tab, post event. Test overlap, and then the actor is going to be self. Get reference to self. And that's it. That's all we want. Go ahead and close that. And then first thing, before I forget, generate sound banks just for Windows. Generating complete. I like that sound effect. And then we're going to go ahead and save our level before we forget. Before everything inevitably crashes. And then we're going to play. Oh, because those still collide. But there you go. You have just put in, assuming this is your first time doing this, you have just put in your very first sound effect from Wwise. And yeah, it's very basic, but you know, this is a very good way to make sure that everything between Unreal and Wwise is communicating the way that it is supposed to communicate. And now, from here, we can start moving on and doing much better and cooler things. I hope that this video has been helpful for you. It is definitely a basic video. It's just an installation video, really. But we're going to be doing a lot more things with this. So please stick around for more. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to let me know. I am very active in my comments whenever anybody asks me anything. You can also feel free to email me at timothyadon@gmail.com. I'll put that in the description below. And if you have any very specific subjects that you want talked about, well, yeah, if you have any specific subjects you want talked about when it comes to integrating Wwise into Unreal, feel free to let me know, and when it makes sense to talk about that particular subject, I will turn it into a video. And yeah, if you would like to help me out and buy me a coffee, because I survive off of this stuff, I have a Ko-Fi account or Coffee account. I bring this up every time I say this. And you can find a link to that in the description below as well. Thank you very much, and I will talk to you folks in the next video. Bye-bye!